was introduced in the late 19th century brought about a new way for people to be unified and made way for many opportunities. The New Jersey Youth Soccer, through the U.S. Olympic Development Program, has sought to identify players of the highest caliber on a continuing and consistent basis, which will lead to increased success for the U.S. national teams in the international arena. It has opened the doorway for many young players to hone their skills while receiving quality training from professional coaches and gain exposure to colleges. In this series, we will be talking to 11 young athletes about their experience in the Olympic Development Program and how it has impacted their lives. We will also learn a lot more about the New Jersey Youth Soccer and the Olympic Development Program. I am Jhon-Marc Prince, and today we will be talking to 17-year-old Louis Mignon and 14-year-old Joe Mignon, two athletes of the New Jersey Youth Soccer Olympic Development Program. Good day, gentlemen. Tell me, what do you value most about your experience with the Olympic Development Program?
So, what I value the most about my ODP experience is just the intensity of the training sessions, the quality of the players and coaches.
Yes.
I think all those elements put together really motivate me to come out each time I come out on the field and put 110% out. And I see my development and I see how much ODP has influenced that.
Mm-hmm.
I
Joe?
value most about the ODP program when we go on to play against other teams. We're playing against other high-level players, and that really pushes me to get better.
That is very good, Joe. And I'm very excited for both of you and the experience you're having with the Olympic Development Program. So I presume this love for soccer started at home. Tell me about your dad, Louis Mignon, and his involvement in soccer.
Well, my dad has been involved in soccer for all his life, and I just see how much he's given to the game from the time he was, practically a baby to now.
Yes.
And it's really inspiring to see how much it changed his life and how he's carried it through his childhood into his adulthood and up until now. And it's really it really inspired my connection to the game to be able to exert my energy in a positive way. Physically developing and mentally developing through the game that I saw develop my dad firsthand. So yeah, my dad's definitely my inspiration for me when it comes to the game and just putting everything I have on the field every time I go out there.
Thank you, Louis. I'm glad to hear that your dad is such an inspiration to you boys. Tell me, what would you say to players your age about the opportunities available through the Olympic Development Program?
I would say that for players looking to be ODP players or current ODP players, it's all about performance-driven mindset. You have to be able to look at every training session, every game as an opportunity to grow as a player. And you have to be reflecting after everything. You have to reflect a lot and think about what you've done, what you've said to your teammates. Because what I've noticed is that at a higher level of soccer, everything becomes more detail oriented. The things that may have not mattered when you were playing middle school soccer get highlighted like crazy if you do it in ODP. So I think every detail, every millisecond, every microscopic touch on the ball with maybe a wrong surface, it all comes out. So I think that for ODP players, the most important thing to do is just focus like crazy and pay attention to detail, because it's the small details that really make the difference in an ODP game.
And Joe, I didn't get your preferred position. Can you tell me?
Right back.
Right, but I feel I'm more of a defender, probably not a fullback, more of a center back, but I'm a defender. I like to protect the goal. But Louis over here, he likes to score all the goals. I don't know what's his problem. We defend the goal. So I
Yeah.
guess we know what defend the goal is about. But tell me, Joey, you're 14. So tell me, other 14-year-olds, what would you say to them about this opportunity the Olympic Development Program has given?
I would I would tell other kids, you have to, if you want to go far in the game, you have to keep pushing yourself. If you try out for ODP and you make it, you're going to be playing against other high level players, and they're going to push you further in the game by challenging you.
Okay. So you gentlemen believe that your game has been stepped up a lot since joining the program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And at this point in your lives, I would say Louis probably a lot more close, of course, as relates to getting college exposure. How important is that, and how important has the ODP presented that opportunity before?
Oh, in terms of college exposure, ODP is great. We have college night at ODP in the
Yeah.
spring, and we typically have a few tournaments in which college coaches attend.
Hmm.
So it's a great opportunity for exposure, and just becoming naturally motivated while people are watching you. Be accustomed to the pressure and embracing the pressure.
Joe?
A lot of the coaches might be involved in college, especially in at regional camp. You have a few meetings about college and selecting one you really like. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, I think.
Well, I do hope it all works out for you, Louis, and you too, Joe, when it's your time to look at colleges. I'm also very impressed with the professional coaching at the Olympic Development Program, with one head coach being former US Women's National Team player Brandy Chastain. Tell me more about the coaching you receive.
Appreciate the systematic nature of the coaching in terms of like the organization. I think it's really challenging to be able to go to an ODP session and know that you know one right after the other, everything we do is going to uh, yield improvement and yield intensity. um, and the coaches that I've had all had amazing personalities and vast knowledge about the game, in
Yes.
addition to the curriculum that we follow. And it's been a great experience to develop relations with these coaches.
That is very true, Louis. It is important to have a bond with your coaches. So, players are selected in New Jersey via annual open tryouts. These tryouts are conducted by New Jersey youth soccer coaches who are recognized for their ability to identify and train players with superior skills. Selection of players is not an easy task. New Jersey youth soccer coaches are assisted in the selection process by several other qualified coaches from the club and league level. Players are evaluated on the four components that make up a soccer player: technique, tactics, fitness and athletic ability, and the psychological component which speaks to a player's attitude. Tell me how important these are and how important it is to make connections with your teammates.
Yeah. I think fitness is you need fitness. Awareness is really good, but I think one of the maybe the most crucial part of that is the drive to get better. Because with the drive to
Yes.
get better, you could achieve anything. You could
That's true. That's
keep
true.
going and play against other high level players. You could train more, and that'll make you better. And that'll make you better physically, tactically, and it'll make your whole game get better.
That's true.
I think in terms of ODP and the tryout process, it's very important to express yourself technically. Um,
Hmm.
but you have to be skilled with your technique. You have to really think about what you're doing and where you're doing it, so
Yes.
that's in aligned with the decisions you want to make. You have to make good decisions. You have to think the game,
Hmm.
um, and you just have to play like you're having fun. Play your game. Express yourself on the field. That's what coaches like to see.
Yeah, that's true. And also it's important to have fun because we know that this is, a serious program, of course, and it can carry you really far, can get you to college, can get you to play for the national team, maybe represent United States at the World Cup or the Gold Cup. But it's also important to have fun because you guys are kids, you're growing up, so it's important to have fun while learning and playing the sport, and that is what the Olympic Development Program is all about. I just want to also speak with you guys about the importance of teamwork and what connections you've made with your Olympic Development Program teammates.
Yeah, so I stay in touch with a lot of teammates for my ODP team. Over the winter and into the early spring, we actually had an indoor league that I started with my dad, and we just dragged a few of them along, and they loved
Nice.
it. And we loved it. We had a great time. It was off the wall. But that's just an example of how we stay in touch. Always playing FIFA, always texting and
Very nice.
training together when we can and where we can. But yeah, I'm so glad to meet the friends that I have in ODP, and I think I'll stay in touch with them for a long time.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
for a lot of the ODP team, they live all over New Jersey, so they could live an hour or so away, and it could get pretty hard getting like games together that you could play. So it's
Mhm.
uh it's easier to stay in touch with them by playing FIFA or
Mhm.
just texting about soccer.
Well, I can also relate to that whole experience because right now my friends and I we usually play football on Saturdays, where we have our football league. We go play on the turf, our game of football. But now it's not been so easy, of course, the last 2 months. But we've really started, playing a lot more online, FIFA as well. I consider myself a really great FIFA player, So I try to let them know that as well. So I think I'm one of the best out of the group. But I can definitely relate to you guys about that online experience now with soccer, with sports, other games as well, where we can all stay connected, which is very important. And I'm glad that you guys have found this avenue you taken to, continue the program with your teammates. Because I mean, that teamwork is important, and a lot of athletes don't know it's important off the pitch, not just on the pitch where you can speak and know when to pass, but that team cooperation off the pitch is so, so important. So, guys, I just want to hear some final thoughts from you as it relates to, how important it is to stay fit also in this time we're all at home. You guys probably might not be able to go to training. How important it is to stay fit and ready for when the program resumes after all this crisis.
I think the most important thing for players to do is to keep your mind active with the game. Try to watch as much soccer as you can on TV and analyze what you see, try to interpret it, and try
Yeah.
to put yourself in the position of those players. Because the game, luckily, our game is so unpredictable, and at every
Mhm.
second things change. Every millisecond things change, and people are where they weren't a millisecond ago. So there's a lot of value in watching the game because every situation is so much different. And I think that players sometimes undermine the fact that you have to watch the game to be able to play the game.
That is true. A lot of people don't believe that, learning the theory is as important as being practical. They both are very, very, very important and they work hand in hand. So, my final question also would be to you, gentlemen, is that do you think going pro is something you want to do?
Yeah, I think going pro is like one of my goals. But that might not always work out. So you always have backup plans, like college
Yeah,
choices. What do you want to do in college? I think backup
yeah.
plans are really good. But yeah, my overall goal is to maybe go pro.